If you're selling a home with solar panels, there are a few things you need to get clear on before you list it. Who owns the solar panels? Is there a loan? Is there a lien on title? And what happens to all of that when the home sells? In this video, we're going to walk through what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac require when it comes to selling a home with solar panels. And if those panels were financed, leased, or tied to a PACE loan, you need to know how that affects your sale. We'll cover what to do with liens, how payoff works, and what buyers need to know and how to avoid delays at closing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check, who to call, and how to handle the solar panel obligation before you ever hit the market. Let's start with the most common setup. You installed solar panels and they were financed through a loan. That loan created a lien on your property. So in other words, it's illegally recorded and tied to your home's title. So what happens when you sell the house? The lien has to be cleared. You can't transfer the home with the lien attached unless the buyer agrees to assume it. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have strict rules around that. In most cases, here's what that means. You'll get a payoff statement from the solar financing company. That amount gets included in your closing cost. The title company pays off the solar loan from your proceeds at closing. So once that's paid, the lien is released. The solar panels stay with the home. The buyer gets them free and clear. The title company handles the paperwork and you walk away with a clean transfer. But what if the solar panels aren't paid off? That's fine, but you'll need to be clear up front. You have two options. You can either pay off the remaining loan balance either before or at closing, or you can negotiate with the buyer to assume the loan. Only if the loan terms allow it and the buyer's lender agrees. Here's the catch. Most lenders won't allow a buyer to assume a solar debt that's secured by a lien unless that lien is made subordinate to the new loan. That means the mortgage has to be in the first position. If the solar company won't agree to that, the deal may fall apart. That's why it's critical to get this sorted out before you even list the home. Talk to your solar provider. Ask if the lien can be released with the payoff. Ask if it's assumable. Get the terms in writing. That way you know exactly what you're working with. Now let's talk about PACE loans. These are special energy financing programs that are repaid through your property taxes. They show up as an assessment on your tax bill and are often sold as an easy way to finance solar panels. If you used a PACE loan to install your solar system, the rules are different. Here's what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac require. The purchase contract must state clearly whether the PACE obligation stays with the home or it's paid off at closing. So all terms and repayment conditions must be fully disclosed to the buyer. That language must be included in the sales contract. The PACE assessment payments must be included in the buyer's monthly housing obligation. The PACE lien must be subordinate to the new mortgage. So if the buyer's lender won't allow a subordinate PACE lien, you'll have to pay it off before closing. This is another reason to contact your solar provider and your tax authority early in the process. Know exactly what the balance is, understand what it takes to satisfy that debt, and make sure your listing reflects the reality of the situation. Let's take an example. Say you financed $25,000 in solar panels through a PACE program. You've paid off $5,000. That means $20,000 is still owed, and it's tied to your property taxes. You list your home, a buyer makes an offer. The lender won't allow a PACE lien to remain in place unless it's paid off or subordinated. If the solar company or local tax authority won't subordinate, then your only option is to pay off that balance at closing. So if your net proceeds are $60,000, the title company will deduct $20,000 and send the rest to you. The lien is released and the sale closes cleanly. On the other hand, if the PACE loan is allowed to remain, the buyer has to sign off on it. That means the buyer's lender needs to approve it. The buyer has to qualify with that extra debt in their housing ratio. The loan terms must be fully disclosed in writing. Don't skip that step. If you fail to disclose the PACE obligation and the buyer finds out during underwriting, it can delay or cancel your closing. So here's the big takeaway. Whether it's a standard solar loan or a PACE loan, you need to do three things before listing your home. 1, get a copy of the current loan terms from your solar company or PACE provider. 2, ask if the obligation can be assumed, subordinated, or must be paid off. And 3, share that information with your listing agent, title company, and any potential buyers. Transparency is key. Surprises at closing kills deals. So take control early. So if you're a real estate agent or a loan officer, this is where your advice matters. Educate your clients up front, help them reach out to the solar provider, talk to the title company, and check the loan guidelines. For sellers, don't assume the panels are a selling point if the debt behind them is messy. Buyers love solar until they find out there's a $150 monthly obligation attached to it. And for buyers, if you're making an offer on a home with solar panels, ask these questions. Who owns the panels? Is there a loan or a lease? What's the monthly payment? Will the seller pay it off? Will it affect your mortgage approval? The sooner you get answers to these questions, the smoother the process will be. And there's one more piece to understand. Sometimes solar panels are leased, not owned. And in that case, you're dealing with a servicing agreement, not a loan. The solar provider still needs to be involved. They'll just have the power to approve the transfer or not. So the new buyer will need to qualify under the lease terms, and that monthly lease cost will be added to the buyer's debt to income ratio. Again, if the buyer doesn't qualify with that lease payment in place, the loan could be denied. So whether it's a lease, a lien, or a PACE loan, the key is this: the solar panel obligation has to be accounted for in underwriting, period. Let's go back to our original question. You're selling a home with solar panels. What do you do first? Step 1, find out how the panels were financed. Is it a lien, a lease, or a PACE loan? Step 2, call the provider. Ask for the balance, the payoff, and the process to transfer or satisfy the obligation. Step 3, talk to your agent and title company. Make sure the sales contract reflects the reality of the solar obligation. Step 4, be upfront with the buyers. Give them documentation, explain the payment structure. Don't let it become a surprise halfway through underwriting. If you handle it right, solar panels don't have to complicate your sale. In fact, if the obligation is clean and the panels are paid off, they can increase your home's value and appeal. But if you don't handle it right, it can delay your closing or cost you the deal. Whether you're a homeowner, a real estate agent, a loan officer, the rules are clear. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac both require full disclosure of any solar-related debt. That debt must be either paid off, assumed, or subordinated, and buyers must qualify with the full payment included in their debt-to-income ratio calculation. No shortcuts, no exceptions. So if you're thinking about selling your home and you have solar panels, get in touch before you list. We'll help you pull the paperwork, run the numbers, and make sure everything is in order. And if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment if you have questions, and share this with somebody who needs it.